Exactly.
President Obama called on Congress to work together and make 2014 a year of action last night.
That's why I believe this can be a breakthrough year for America. After 5 years of grit and determined effort, the United States is better positioned for the 21st century than any other nation on earth.
Last year, the president did not get his top State of the Union priorities through Congress. So is this year any different? Was this speech any different? Professor Jason Johnson watched the speech. He's up early and he is joining us this morning. And he got to go home and sleep last night, I'm thinking. Yeah. Good morning to you. Okay, your overall impression, the big picture here.
I was surprised. I was like, who is this guy? Like, Obama's got his worst approval ratings of his presidency. Is at about 43% approval. But last night he was jovial. He was friendly. He joked with Boehner. He talked about Mad Men. He said, call your parents, help them get onto the Obamacare website. I was surprised at the pretty jovial tone. It's much different than last year, and he seems enthusiastic about what he can do in 2014.
Okay, so it was about what he could do, a year of action. But in reality, he didn't get any of his top State of the Union priorities through Congress last time. So I'm wondering how much importance there is to the State of the Union address.
Not much, especially not in a midterm election year. It's 2014, and what the Republicans are going to run on this year is look at all the things that Obama promises and he doesn't get done. So they have no incentive to work with him throughout 2014. I think one of the things, though, that the president mentioned that probably should get some motion somewhere or another is immigration. This is turning out to be a big problem for a lot of southern states, a lot of western states. I do think there'll be some movement on that, but minimum wage and enterprise zones, I don't see much action until after we have our midterm elections.
Okay, so we talked a little of the substance there and now the human experience. Is it just me, or every year, you know, you've got this side standing, no, this side standing, now this side standing? It's predictable on that point. But Joe Biden was all over Twitter for something kind of unpredictable. He didn't look all that engaged.
No, he did. Yes. Crazy Uncle Joe, as they sometimes call him on Twitter, was known for, it looked like he was looking down at a cell phone, like he was going through his Twitter feed. He looked bored half the time. He had his sort of odd thumbs up. It's one of the sort of more entertaining things about the State of the Union is not even listening what the president says, but looking at the reaction. So, you know, Biden looked bored. Boehner looked confused half the time. You kind of look at who nods and who claps. So it's kind of interesting to see the crowd reactions. It's very much sort of like the Oscars for Washington, D.C., and everyone's either enthusiastic or unhappy depending on what they're hearing.
Okay, now let's talk about the Republicans' response then, that the president's policies are making American lives harder.
Well, I think one of the things that we picked up from the response is the idea that the Republicans are very clear that their policies are in contrast to the president, and if that means not working with him throughout this year, that's going to be serving their constituents. They're not concerned about what he said. They're concerned about what they can do to represent the people who voted for them in their districts.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Jason Johnson, good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right. Political professor there.